Hello, welcome to Bluebell Storytime. I'm Mandi Cantrell, Miss Mandi from the B.B. Comer Library here in Sylacauga. Before I read the first book, I want to share with you one of the 6 skills every child needs to know to be ready to read. I've shared the other 5. This is the last one. This week I want to talk about phonological awareness. Phonological awareness is the ability to hear and play with the smaller sounds in words. This includes rhyming, breaking words apart, and putting word chunks together and hearing beginning sounds. Well, how can you do this with your child? Well, there's some really fun activities. Point out rhyming words in books. In the books I read today, rhyme. Play with the word. What rhymes with it or what word begins with the same sound? I think every little girl named Anna has been called Anna Banana. That's what that is. Play with nonsense or silly words like that. Clap syllables in words and names, like I would be Mandi Cantrell. Remember, most children who have difficulty in reading have trouble with phonological awareness. So I hope you can do some of these fun activities with your children and get them ready to read. Great. The first book I want to read is Madeline. This is an old favorite of mine. I'd like to thank the author, Ludwig Bemelmans, and the publisher, Viking Press, for allowing me to share the book with you. I love the rhyming in this. In an old house in Paris that was covered with vines lived 12 little girls in 2 straight lines. In 2 straight lines they broke their bread and brushed their teeth and went to bed. They smiled at the good and frowned at the bad, and sometimes they were very sad. They left the house at 9:30 in 2 straight lines, in rain or shine. The smallest one was Madeline. She was not afraid of mice. She loved winter, snow, and ice. To the tiger in the zoo, Madeline just said, "Pooh-pooh." And nobody knew quite so well how to frighten Miss Clavel. In the middle of one night, Miss Clavel turned on her light and said, "Something is not right." Little Madeline sat in bed, cried and cried. Her eyes were red. And soon after, Dr. Cone came and rushed out to the phone. And he dialed Danton 106. "Nurse," he said, "it's an appendix." Everybody had to cry. Not a single eye was dry. Madeline was in his arm, in a blanket, safe and warm. In a car with a red light, they drove out into the night. Madeline woke up 2 hours later in a room with flowers. Madeline soon ate and drank. On her bed there was a crank. And a crack on the ceiling had the habit of sometimes looking like a rabbit. Outside were birds, trees, and sky, and so 10 days passed quickly by. One nice morning Miss Clavel said, "Isn't it a fine day to visit Madeline?" Visitors from 2 to 4 read a sign outside her door, tiptoeing with solemn face, with some flowers and a vase. In they walked and then said, "Ah," when they saw the toys and candy and the dollhouse from Papa. But the biggest surprise by far, on her stomach was a scar. "Goodbye," they said, "we'll come again." And the little girls left in the rain. They went home and broke their bread, brushed their teeth, and went to bed. In the middle of the night, Miss Clavel turned on her light and said, "Something is not right." And afraid of a disaster, Miss Clavel ran fast and faster. And she said, "Please, children, do tell me what is troubling you." And all the little girls cried, "Boo-hoo, We want to have our pendings out too. Good night, little girls. Thank the Lord you are well. And now go to sleep, said Miss Clavell. And she turned out the light and closed the door. And that's all there is. There isn't any more. Great. I hope you enjoyed that and seeing some of the scenes from Paris there. Now I want you to sing a song with me. This one rhymes too, and it has some fun things we can do with our hands. All right. A nest is a home for a bird, and a hive is a home for a bee. A hole is a home for a rabbit, and a house is a home for who? Me. Great. Let's do that one more time. A nest is a home for a bird. A hive is a home for a bee. A hole is a home for a rabbit, and a house is a home for me. Great, great. This next story is a cute one too, called Sheep in a Jeep. And I'd like to thank Nancy Shaw, the author, and the illustrator, Margot Apple, and the publisher is Houghton Mifflin Company. Thank them for allowing me to share this book with you. Sheep in a Jeep. Beep, beep. Sheep in a Jeep on a hill that's steep. Uh-oh, the Jeep won't go. Sheep leap to push the Jeep. Sheep shove, sheep grunt. Sheep don't think to look up front. Jeep goes splash, Jeep goes thud, Jeep goes deep in gooey mud. Uh-oh. Sheep tug. Sheep shrug. Sheep yelp. Sheep get help. Jeep comes out. Sheep shout. Sheep cheer. Oh dear, the driver sheep forgets to steer. Jeep in a heap. Sheep weep. Sheep sweep the heap. Jeep for sale. Cheap. I have one other book I'm not going to read, but I just want to tell you about it since we're talking about phonological awareness. This is Runny Babbitt, a Billy Sook by Shel Silverstein. This is a really neat book. He changes around the beginning sounds. I'll just read the first little page here because the whole book is written like this. It's a lot of fun. Way down in the green woods where the animals all play, they do things and they say things in a different sort of way. Instead of saying purple hat, they all say purple pat. Instead of saying feed the cat, they just say keed the fat. So if you say let's beat a rook that's Billy as can see, you're talking Runny Babbitt talk, just like Mem and he. This is a lot of fun to use those beginning sounds and have a lot of fun in the process. Thank you for joining me at Bluebell Storytime today.